Hey everybody, I'm in my greenhouse, the fan's going, it may be loud. I just wanted to do a brief introduction to what this channel is going to be about. We are starting the journey from urban, suburban, HOA living to basically building a homestead from the ground up. We purchased a few acres, kind of like right on the skirt of the city limits here. And all it is just land. It is cleared, so that's nice. And we do technically have electricity to the property. But we're having a pond dug, we're having a well dug, all of those things. And then of course, eventually building the garden out and building the pens for the animals and the different things that I hope to have. But I've already gotten a lot of that footage kind of started and rolling, but I thought it would be also kind of nice to document where I'm at now, what my garden looks like, and basically, yeah, like a garden tour, what's going on, what I'm currently growing, where I'm at, because for the next little while I'm still here, and I figured this I can sprinkle in between the building and construction and everything else going on at that property. Plus, we do have some things planted over there as tests because apparently that area has deer pressure, which we can see. We can see the deer tracks all in our property. So it's really going to be interesting for me. I've never dealt with deer pressure. Where I'm at now, we have squirrel pressure and wild rabbit pressure, which we've been able to figure out how to eliminate that from being such an issue. But deer is new to me, so we got some things planted at that property. We're checking on them, just to see how that goes, see what that looks like. And yeah, so with that being said, figure let's do a garden tour. We're gonna start in the greenhouse. I can assure you I will show good, bad, and ugly, because this is a laid-back homestead. And what that means is it's not always pretty. And there's no point trying to hide it because it's real life here. It's real life. And all right, let's get it started. So this, like I said, is my greenhouse right now because this is mid-spring in southeast Louisiana. The greenhouse is mainly just home to my squash. I do have a few squash plants outside, which I'll also show. But because squash vine borer pressure is so high where I live, the only way I really get squash is to grow them in this enclosed greenhouse. And this greenhouse is completely, I'm gonna swing you over here for a second, completely closed off from pests. So new to me this year though, of course, is always an issue in the greenhouse. I planted this flower for ladybugs because I release ladybugs in here. We had a whitefly infestation in my greenhouse. This is the first time I've ever had that, and apparently, unbeknownst to me, whiteflies can carry a disease called silver leaf disease, silver leaf virus. And I don't know if you can see it, but the leaves are very, very, very silver, and they eventually turn crispy and die. This one over here, I pruned real heavily after spraying, but you can see it's still struggling with it a little bit. I probably need to come out and spray again. There's the silver leaf. Probably need to come out and spray again. But I've planted some backups, which we can see here, and I threw some peppers in here. This tomato monstrosity was a volunteer, popped up in my bed here, and it is absolutely overtaken with mealybugs. And you can see all that nastiness, absolute gross. Ugh. But the fruit are still producing, and again, it was a volunteer, so I'm just leaving it. It's actually acting kind of like a trap crop almost at this point, so I've just left it. And clearly all of its new growth is fine. Like, it's just like not even concerned with the fact that it's overtaken with mealybugs. I don't remember what this was called. I have the seed packet somewhere, I know. And like I said, I released ladybugs in here to help. Every year I have aphids in here. They help with that. on my seedlings as they're coming up. I always deal with aphid pressure, and I read that this particular flower they really like, and I do know I had seen some larvae on here, ladybug larva the other day. Oh look, okay, wait, there's one right there. There's a ladybug larva. Look at you. Look at you. Actually, that looks like it's already hatched. It may have been the cocoon it left behind, because they go through shedding cycles. So it's really hot in here right now. It's like almost 100 degrees. The breeze is nice though, with the fan blowing through the screen door. And then this was a potted plant. It's like 30 years old. The man that owned it passed away. He's like a distant relative to a distant relative, and I took it just because nobody else knew what to do with it. I don't know what it is. There's no name. Like I said, it's 30 years old. It's been in here for a while, and it's doing great. So yeah, that is the greenhouse. My husband built me this greenhouse. See if I can come out and get a better image of it. Let's see here if I can swing over and get... It's kind of an octagon shape. Not kind of, it is. It's not kind of anything. It is an octagon. But I love it. It serves its purpose so well. So I think what we'll do now, I'll go ahead and slide us over to the main garden beds first. Okay, so these are the main 2 garden beds. They're the most established garden beds that I have. We're gonna walk through it. Right now, tomatoes, peppers, going gangbusters. I did notice the early signs of some leaf spot. I have to get out here this weekend and prune all of that, and probably do hydrogen peroxide spray. It's Southeast Louisiana. You're only buying so much time. That's just the reality of it. These will not live through the summer. The peppers probably will, but the tomatoes will not. But that's okay. I will start a fall tomato garden if I need it. Last year I had so many tomatoes and I put up so much spaghetti sauce that it's really probably not going to be necessary. In front here, these pots you see are wax myrtles. These are for the new property. My husband wants to do a privacy wall with them, blocking the neighbor's driveway from our property view, if you will. So those are just temporarily chilling. I've actually got some in the back, way back there too, that are a little bit bigger. So those aren't going to be main point. I do feel like I should disclose there's a lot of weed pressure in here right now. Just ignore that, pretend that's not there. We'll take care of that this weekend. Our gardening, I mean, even our grass is just all like crazy right now, but now that we're split between 2 properties and just that whole thing, it's a little bit overwhelming, but we'll get there. It's gonna get cleaned up. I will admit I am growing an IBC totes, cut in half. It is ugly as sin, but if I'm being honest, it is the only way I can grow here. My soil is infected with bacterial wilt, also called southern wilt, aka I'm gonna butcher the bacteria name, but it's I think Ralstonia solanacearum. I didn't have it when we first moved in here. I actually built raised beds that touch the ground, that had, access to the ground. But unfortunately, these rocks were contaminated, and I brought them in, these pond rocks. It's the only thing that would have brought that to the property. So I know that's what it was. Try not to make y'all all crazy. But yeah, so these are self-wicking beds, meaning they are not open to the bottom of the ground. There's a water reservoir. So this bed, this tote, has a layer of rocks at the bottom that holds the water reservoir. Then there's a layer of weed fabric, and then your soil layer. And so to water these beds, we water them maybe once or twice a week, which is nice. Just laid back, you know what I mean? Laid back. Oh, bees are gonna be laid back. But I just come put the hose in right here, fill it up, and once it's full, the water reservoir's full, the drain will start emptying. And I'll probably show you all that later, because these beds, quite honestly, really could be topped off. Bees are working hard today, so I'm trying to stay out of their way, because I've got some cilantro that went to seed, and they're kind of working that area right now. As you can see, this is a ton of tomatoes. Yes, I plant too close together. Again, I preface this, probably say it 1,000 times, I just play by my own rules. It's how I've been gardening. Got some celery here. This came from a volunteer. I threw a chunk of celery in here and decided to grow. So I need to come out and actually harvest that, because it's getting pretty warm. Lots of tomatoes. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on some of that. I will have the varieties. I'm going to do a more comprehensive tour of this garden, and I will have the varieties that I'm currently growing. I have them all written down in a notebook, because even though I have tags, every year once we come out and we mulch, as you can see, mulch pretty heavily, the tags get covered. So I have to come out and log everything in a notebook. This is red bean volunteers. I'm growing red kidney beans. They came up again. I have these towers, aka pitchers from the Dollar Tree. Has a whole bunch of holes in it. I compost in place in those. They bring red wigglers to the bed. Again, these beds are not open to the ground. The worms find a way in, and they're just in there doing the Lord's work, as long as I keep feeding them. So just a lot of, dare I say, chaos. I have a red Brussels sprout that's still, I think, attempting to do something. I doubt it. It's getting way too hot, but whatever. More volunteer beans. And it is super bright out here, so I don't know how this is even gonna film. More tomatoes. And of course, I do have peppers. I do have dahlias sprinkled in. This is not a dahlia. This is either a Cosmo or a marigold. It's just, yeah, we're kind of all over the place here. More peppers, some nasturtiums, of course, more tomatoes. These sticks, again, I use these to stake the tomatoes, and then we use string to help them once they're past the size of the stake. The stakes were free. Again, I know, ugly is sin, but free is free, and that's how I roll. So, making it happen. Lots of fruit here. And this was a pleasant surprise. I planted Scarlet Runners beans last spring. I don't know what I do wrong. I have yet to have a productive Scarlet Runner bean. I don't think I've harvested a single bean. I don't even normally get to this stage where there's a flower open. So these came back on their own, but my understanding is Scarlet Runners, if you live in a moderate climate, are perennial, and they will come back on their own without you having to do anything. They come back from the root, is my understanding, as long as you didn't yank the plant up, and which we didn't. We chop and drop at the end of every season, and so that totally came up on its own. And you know, maybe when I do a harvest video, you may actually get to see me harvest my first Scarlet Runner bean. I mean, that's going to be a good day for everybody, I think. So I'm going to slide on over now to our next garden space, which is our fire pit garden. Okay, so this is our fire pit garden area. Again, please ignore the weeds. In fact, I'll show you my dirty laundry. The inside the fire pit. Oh boy. We got some work to do out here. But got some peppers in here, all different types. I know for a fact those are black tie. I think this dirt in this pot is contaminated with wilt. It looked that way last year. So these are in here as a test because peppers are one of the families of plants that will basically succumb to the wilt. Ask me how I know. The year that we found out we had the wilt, I lost probably 100 plants because I'll show you the beds across here. I contaminated by poor pruning practices and not sanitizing my pruning shears between beds. I contaminated 6 out of the 8 beds with wilt. It was a devastating loss. We had to scoop all of the dirt out, throw it away. We had to bleach all of the rock reservoirs at the bottom. We bleached the entire tote. It was so much work. So it's a very debilitating situation. Like it's I cried real tears. So in these bags, we have drip irrigation on these. These are brand new blueberry bushes we just put in here. And this is not a volunteer. This is a test plant, a test tomato. We had an olive tree here that succumbed to the wilt. But because Louisiana had a very rare snowstorm this year, I was kind of hoping it killed off the wilt. Because I know the wilt doesn't exist in the northern part of the country. It cannot survive the winter. So I put this in here as a test because I know this area was contaminated. We'll see. Right, so far so good, but meh, we'll see. So this bag has some carrots remaining, some garlic. Got some garlic and a rogue growing, very funny, probably not going to make it tomato. I don't know what that's doing. The only beet that I've ever been able to grow from seed, again, I struggle. I don't know why. And then I actually have potatoes in here as well. So that'll be interesting because I'm all about the chaos. Look, see this? Ooh, it is time for me to start spraying. So some determinate aromas are in here. More garlic. The rest of Rosella purple, which is also, I think, determinate. And then, of course, I have peppers. Peppers. Get y'all actually focused on something here. And this is all on drip. And then I have a green stalk, which has currently got quite a lot of oregano and a whole lot of strawberries. The inner ring of the fire pit, also tomatoes. Lots and lots of tomatoes. Now, the fire pit itself is a hydroponic system. This is the Dutch buckets, Beto buckets. So this is all soilless, growing right here. I use just the master blend, and this is their water reservoir, 27 gallons. And I have to fill this up. It depends. With it being going into summer, probably once a week. Just a closer view of my luscious oregano that I really need to comb. It smells so good. Ooh. Like the trip. So this is just my hydroponics. And then this is also hydroponics, but it's not Beto buckets. It's DWC, deep water culture. This and this are both on the same timer, as you can see. It is messy, okay? Real life. Cords. It is what it is. This is supposedly a self-watering growing container I got off of Amazon. I don't love this design. I only have herbs in here right now, and I don't love this design. It's not designed properly, in my opinion. These are also self-watering containers I got off of Amazon. These two are designed much better. This guy, no, don't recommend. Here is my table of shame. No, I'm just kidding. It's all my seedlings that I'm still currently working on, things still growing, things not planted out. I have, like I said, eventually tomatoes will die and then I'll have room. I showed y'all my greenhouse already, but on the outside, these are also barrels and bags on drip. It's a little bit of my zucchini, which the borers will be here in probably a week. We've got some garlic. I'm about to come plant out peppers in between them. Another red Brussels sprout not wanting to do anything. Whole bunch of peppers here. Some more zucchini, which again, I'm grateful to be getting what I'm getting because like I said, in 2 weeks, max, I'll be under fire. Scallop squash. This is a tropical plant fireball. I don't have any blooms on it at the moment. We pruned it back real hard. We did put it in the greenhouse for the snowstorm, but we still got freezing temperatures below that once we had moved it back out, so we pruned it back and it's doing good. This is our Satsuma tree. Survived the snowstorm. Very blessed because my brothers didn't, but we will not, it appears, be getting any fruit this year. It bloomed, but I'm guessing the stress from everything, it dropped all of its blossoms. And this is my husband's pride and joy, his Japanese red maple. It doesn't provide food, so I'm less impressed. And then over here I have a crippling rosemary. Another blueberry. It doesn't do as well because it doesn't need as much sun. And then we've got blackberries. We bought these 2 this year. One's alive, one was dead. So that's unfortunate. These are 2 very established blueberry bushes, which will be getting a lot of blueberries very soon. Which is exciting. This is the newest garden. We just set this up this year. This ground was also contaminated with the wilt because I had an open to the ground raised bed here that I ended up with the wilt over here too. So that's unfortunate. Let me see if I can actually get out of the sun because I can't see anything. So again, these 3 beds, all self-wicking, have to be closed at the bottom, closed off, can't touch the ground. My worm, if you can even see that, my worm towers, quote unquote. These are all self-watering buckets. Some of these were DIY builds, like this guy. I have water bottles at the bottom. If you've ever seen Gardening with Leon, I believe, it's his build. I followed his, but they also sell kits. You can get a 3-pack kit, self-watering kit, off of Amazon for like $50. So that's all of the buckets in the back. No, this doesn't look good. What happened here? Wind? Yeah, broke off. I don't know if you can even see that. Oh, well, everybody was just fertilized, and we've got a ton of fruit set. It's looking a little sad though. I don't love that for us. But everybody was topped up with water yesterday, so now I will say this. I think I may have, trying to keep y'all steady. I think I may have wilt, which sucks, but it would be in a bucket, which means I could just throw the whole thing away. We'll see. This plant right here, looking awfully wilty. Bacterial wilt starts at the tips, top of the plant, and eventually the whole plant. See if I can get that. Starts at the tips, and eventually the whole plant will wilt and die. But at least it's in a bucket. You know, I can take that bucket and throw it away. I thought I had done a really good job of cleaning up and bleaching everything, but my husband reminded me that we had grown in a couple of buckets with contaminated soil, because not all plants are impacted by it. It's only plants in the Solanaceous family. So I was able to grow like brassicas and things like that with no issue. Wilt wouldn't be a problem. You know, onions, anything like that I could grow. And he's thinking that we may have left some plants to grow in dirty soil, and then I just went and stuck a tomato in it without realizing that that was contaminated soil. So we will keep an eye on that. That will be an update. I mean, like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly. My bird feeders, which also keep the squirrels away from my food because they come for it. And just some random, I mean, I'm one of those people where if you sit around long enough and you're a vessel, you're going to get a plant shoved in you in my backyard. No wasted space. We found these at the new property and I just brought them home and shoved them in a pot because why not? That's who I am. My husband dug up, oh, windy. Sorry about that. My husband dug up cattails for our pond from the side of the road. Yes, we are those people. And then these were 2 wax myrtles. I actually have footage. These are from the property my husband dug up and put in a pot. They are sad looking pandas right now. They don't look good. So, but they were where the house is going to be built. So they needed to go anyway. It was an option for them to stay. I mean, they were going to get smushed. So they either bulk up and make it or don't. So that was just a quick overview of where I'm at now, what I'm dealing with. The biggest issues I deal with in this garden, because it's not a homestead, this is just my backyard garden. Biggest issue I deal with here, bacterial wilt, which I'm hoping we don't bring with us. And this yard has not a lot of sun, especially during the wintertime. The only part that gets sun are these 3 beds, really. The other main garden beds get a little bit, but even during the summer, these beds get shaded out pretty quickly. So that's kind of that. I'm going to do much more comprehensive harvest tour as we get closer, and I'll just bring y'all along for the journey. I need to prune this weekend. I need to probably spray this weekend. Mix up a hydrogen peroxide spray, get it started. And yeah, I don't know if you can hear the pumps on. My DWC is outside. A lot of people do it inside, but this particular setup is loud. The pump is loud. So I don't know if I'd want that in my house. And my Dutch buckets should be going right now too. Let's see, you should be. Yep, there it is. There it is. Oop, oop. All right, well, see you guys next time.